I've had some questions about how to ballast Kato Unitrack. It is a bit different to Pico. Pico I tend to find a bit easier just because of this track bed that's on the Kato track already. But it can be done, it's easy enough done, so hopefully I'm going to show you how to. So what do you need? First of all, you're going to need regular PVA glue. There. You're going to mix that, or I mix it. There's lots of different ways to do this, different results, but I've always had good results with this. 1 to 1. So 1 part PVA, 1 part water. It's a bit out of focus there. Let me just bring that in so you can see. There you go. 1 part PVA, 1 part water. You're going to need a pipette to apply the ballast, or apply the glue to the ballast. And you're going to need a brush of any kind. And that's it. That's all you need. Right, let me shift these out of the way so you can see what's going on. So I've already attached the track to this scrap bit of wood, so that's ready to go. All we need to do now is pick our ballast. Now I know this says Woodland Scenics Fine Ballast. It is the light grey, but it's mixed with some old darker stuff that I had just lying around, so you can kind of see the dark flecks in there. It's just what I've got left over, but it is fine ballast, okay? It is going to work. It is going to be the right one for this application. So let's get cracking. So the first thing that we need to do is mix our components. So we take our PVA, we take our water, and I forgot to mention just a bit of washing up liquid. Other washing up liquids are available. It doesn't have to be M&S. And the reason for that is because the washing up liquid will break the surface tension of this mix when it hits the ballast. Let's just add the water to the PVA, simple as that. And then we take our washing up liquid and just 1 or 2 drops. Oh, that was a little bit much, but don't worry if you put too much, it's absolutely fine. I just use the pipette to mix it, and just mix it until it's one kind of uniform colour and a good even consistency. You're probably going to get something that looks a little bit watery. That's fine, it will still set. The last thing you want is for this to be too thick and to just run off the ballast when you try and apply it. So let's see how it is. Yeah, that's just about right, that's perfect. So there's our ballast mix ready to go, okay? Put that to one side for a sec. Right, let's bring our track back in. Some people use these little ballast tools. I don't think they work great, especially on Kato track. You just fill them with ballast and you kind of slide them along. I'll show you how that works if you want, just so that you have an idea. I'll just do a tiny bit with it. I'm going to pop that on, and I'm just going to fill it with ballast a little bit so you can see. That'll do. And then all you do is you just run it along your track and it ballasts it for you. See, the results on Unitrack are not as good. I don't really like it. So let's get rid of that. Let's put that back into our ballast container. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the small glass. You can use any receptacle, but I'm just going to use this small glass that I mixed the water in. Just going to add some ballast into that, just like that. And I find that this gives me quite nice control. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along the sides of the track. Don't worry if you spill it over, it's absolutely fine. Real ballast is not neat. And then we'll come on this side and do the same again. All we're doing here is just building up a little bit of a track bed at the side to give it a bit more of a realistic look. Okay? Then take our brush and just brush along the middle of the track, just to get rid of any of it in the middle. And then run it along the actual rails. And what that does is it spreads the ballast onto the sides, onto the already existing track bed. Now it looks a bit messy, it looks a bit lumpy, that's absolutely fine. What I do is I just take my finger and I just press it. And what that does is gives a bit more of an even consistency all the way along. Do the same on the other side. Now the thing is with Kato Track, you kind of have to do it in 2 sections. So you can't just ballast it all at once. You've got to kind of do a little bit first and then add to it shortly after. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of clean it up a little bit at the edges. This brush is really old, so this is going to be a bit of a messy job, but it gives you the idea. So we just flatten it down a bit more. Same again on this side. Just flatten it down as much as you like or as little as you like. It's entirely up to you. This essentially is just to hide that plastic track bed that we've already got. Now some people like to have a little bit of ballast in between the rails as well, in between the sleepers. I'm not that fussed because the Kato Track actually looks good without it, in my eyes, but everybody's different. If you did want to put some in the middle, then you can just do a very, very fine sprinkle and use the brush to spread it about. And what I tend to do as well is I just tend to knock it so it falls in between the sleepers properly. Right, now take some of our mixture into your pipette and very, very gently drip it onto your ballast. Now what you'll find is it sits at the top for a little while until you get a bit more on, and then it starts running down and soaking through. Don't overdo it, just take your time, it's absolutely fine. If it starts running down, that's fine. Just let it. You can always just refill your pipette and come back to it again. So just go over the bits that we missed. Just keep applying it. Let's do the other side as well now. Start at the top, let it run down. And this ballast mix, this glue mix, sorry, is a little bit thick. It is running over the top of the ballast a little bit, but don't worry, just add a bit more. And what we're doing here is we just want the whole of the mix to be covered. And you can tell because it changes colour really. So you can tell when it's all done. You can see a little bit there needs doing, tiny bit there, tiny bit there. And that is it, that's it. Okay, don't worry if you can put some on the track. Don't worry if you get some on the track because we're going to clean it later. You want to now let that dry. I would say for about 24 hours at the minimum, 48 hours if you've got the time, and it will be hard enough for you to then move around. The ballast won't fall. The key here, leave it. Don't touch it. Just leave it be, because if you touch it and move it, the ballast will move and it won't look right. Okay. When this is dry, we're going to come back and we're going to put another small layer on the outside edges to even off that slope a little bit. It's a bit harsh at the moment. I think the track bed on the Kato Unitrack is quite a harsh angle, so this ballast evens that out nicely. And that's kind of it for now. So we'll come back when this dries and see how it looks.